Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely and I'm in a 4-group backup here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial. And I wanted to put out a video about who Brent Hambrick was and why is there a damn tournament named after this guy. But first, if you're looking for Tour Series discs, go to scottstokely.net. Tour Series discs, you can order my book, you can order signed Tour Series discs, all sorts of places that you have my permission to spend money at or to buy. So why was Brent Hambrick important? And first off, all the obvious reasons. He left behind a family that loved him and a girlfriend that loved him and lots of friends that loved him. But that doesn't explain why there's a major tournament named after Brent. So back in 1992 in Columbus, Ohio, the sport of disc golf was, I wouldn't call it the Wild West days anymore, but it was transitioning from Wild West days and evolving into a much more organized sport. And I came out because I had heard about this tournament, the Columbus Open, which was, the World Championships was the biggest tournament of the year, but there was just a couple big tournaments, Laurel Springs, Masters Cup, Kansas City Wide Open, and this Columbus Open thing. So I came out here and I played the event. And one of the reasons why is there was $5,000 added cash. That was unheard of back then. If a tournament had any added cash, it was amazing. Tournaments would advertise 100% payback, meaning 100% of entry fees were paid back. That was a selling point to get you to come to the tournament, because with players' packages and other expenses, that wasn't always the case. You might have played for a portion of your entry fees at sanctioned tournaments. $5,000 added. Crazy. And you come out and you play the tournament and you get to the first hole and there's a person standing there off to the side of the fairway, and it's like, dude or lady, we're trying to play disc golf here, you're on our hole. And they just stand there, and then you tell them to move again until someone points out to you, no, they're just up there to watch to see where your disc goes so you don't lose it. What? They're there to spot our throws? Nobody's going to stand out all day in the sun just to keep the flow of play moving and to help us not lose our discs. That can't be. We get to the next hole, there's someone else. Get to the next hole, there's someone else. There were 2 courses in Columbus. Well, one permanent, one temporary. Brent put 36 spotters on the course, 1 per hole. Even the holes we didn't need a spotter, Brent put one there anyways, just in case. Now, I'm sure Brent wasn't the first person to have spotters on a hole any more than he was the first person to raise added prize money. But to do it to that level and make it just a standard part of the event made us feel very catered to, real special. When you went around the course, it was a shotgun start, so you could have started on any hole. But when you passed by Tournament Central, there was a gigantic leaderboard with the top several groups on the leaderboard and their current scores, so everybody could see how the top players were performing. Remember, no internet, no cell phones. I, to this day, have no idea how he pulled it off. There was a real-time leaderboard in disc golf. Crazy. There was the final 9 holes, and Brent filmed them. You could watch the final 9 of the Columbus Open if you weren't there. We kind of take this for granted now. You can watch tournaments where you're not at. You couldn't do that back then unless your buddy had a VHS camera with him at the event, and it wasn't good footage. Brent filmed the whole final 9, but he edited in post-production, including a flyover of every single hole before the hole was played with a description of the hole. You know what they do at PGA tournaments, what they do now with drones. Brent, and I apologize, Brent wasn't the person that did the video, forgive me, but they attached a camera to the bottom of a remote-controlled helicopter and flew it around the course, and actually crashed a helicopter at one point and destroyed a camera trying to put this out there. These are the things that Brent was doing that they're normal today. but they're not normal when you're the first person to do them. Again, he wasn't the first person to film a disc golf tournament, but it was the best film. So Brent pushed our sport forward as an individual more than probably any other person as a tournament director. And that's not to take anything away from John Houck and Leonard Muse and so many other people that put the time in. But Brent was special, and that's why there's a tournament named after him. He was a very close friend of mine. I just made a video about how when I didn't know what to do with my life, I called up Brent and lived in his basement for a few months. So yeah, everyone loved Brent, and that's why there's a tournament named after him. Thanks, everyone.